Continuing now on America Talks Live, and we want to talk to you. Give us a call at 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-639-7629. Yesterday, Donald Trump took to Twitter expressing frustrations with House Speaker Paul Ryan for backpedaling on Trump. And the speaker says he endorses him, but he's not going to campaign with him, appear with him, speak on his behalf. And this was all in the wake of the release of that 11-year-old tape. Even the leak now, there is some suspicion that Dan Senor, an advisor to Paul Ryan, was pushing the story to the Washington Post and several other big establishment media type publications. About 10% of the Congress headed for the hills. By that, 10% of the Republicans serving in Congress. But should the tail really direct the elephant? What's Ryan's racket in all of this? Let's talk about it with our panel. Continuing now with political commentator and Newsmax insider Clarence McKee, who is the president of McKee Communications, and retired police detective Tom Whatley. We know him as the policeman and the pundit. And let me turn first to the pundit. You know, 20 years ago, Bob Dole ran 20 points behind me. I had to overcome that to keep my seat in Congress. First re-election in '96. Quietly, some funds were moved. But you didn't have Tony Blankley, the late, great Tony Blankley, in Newt's shop calling the Washington Post to say, hey, Dole's finished, we're taking the money. We all hope for the best. I don't think Trump is finished by a long shot. But what is Paul Ryan's racket in all of this? What's your take?
All these, Speaker Ryan does not care about real power for the Republican Party. He cares about covering his back, and he doesn't know that he's also appealing to, by the way, they're not just appealing to their egos. They also want to be loved and liked and praised by the media. A lot of these guys and ladies, they're doing a lot of this so the media will like them. They don't even think about what's going to happen to the Supreme Court. They don't even care. Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer said about 3 days ago on National Public Radio that he didn't think that the Second Amendment applied to individuals, just state militias. Well, it's a 4-4 balance right now on that issue. Hillary putting some more people on, I hope the NRA just goes bananas over this issue because that's what's at stake. I don't think Ryan understands that. I don't know what he thinks about partial birth abortions. That's all down the hill. They're not thinking about the issues. They're not thinking about power. Democrats care about power. Ryan and his crowd think about pontificating and looking good in front of the media and the guys they play golf with.
I think Speaker Ryan is thinking about 2020. You know, because we now know anything you say can and will be used against you 11 years later. If he stands behind Trump, Trump loses. And then they're going to use that against him down in 2020. So he's taking the safe road.
See, I don't think that's the safe road at all. I think history shows us. Look what happened to Dick Nixon after losing in '60, got behind Barry Goldwater, worked hard for Goldwater. Things didn't work out. Then worked hard in the '66 midterms, and by '68, he became president. Tell you what, let's go back to the phone, since after all, this is America Talks Live. We're pleased to welcome Tan, who is a Trump supporter from Las Vegas, who legally immigrated to America from South Vietnam. Tan, I understand you're mighty worried about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, because Democrats look like communists. You know, she talk about it, she do always behind, and now all the email list, and who do you blame? You know, I wish American people open their eye and see what she do to American, you know?
You know, you make a point that I've heard from so many people. Tan, you call, having left Vietnam. I have talked to American citizens who came here, escaped persecution in Romania. They told us about the Obama presidency. They said, look, we were fleeing communism. Now the political left in this country, they call themselves Democrats, but they're following a Marxist socialist philosophy. You just heard it from Tan right there.
Exactly. You've got more people, more illegal immigrants, people who've come from all over the world, from oppressed societies, including South America, who think more about our country and our values and the pledge to the flag than do the whole Clinton Democratic crowd. A lot of people are proud of this country. Just let her get into another corrupt Department of Justice. The salute to the flag will be gone. But you don't have to do that. Maybe the Pledge of Allegiance as well as the national anthem. No one seems to realize what's going to happen here. If you thought you had corruption now with the IRS, State Department, and the Department of Justice, including the high levels of the FBI, wait until you see what happens if this woman gets into office.
Well, since we're talking
by the door.
Yeah, we're talking about potential crimes, let's turn to the policeman right here, the old detective. When somebody skates as often as the Clintons do, does that just set up you've dealt with people who I guess end up back on the police blotter time and time again, and I know the left is monitoring this saying, oh, how dare you talk about criminality. That's what it is.
Certainly, JD, that's what it is, and we know that people have done worse or lesser crimes in this arena, especially involving national security, that have been locked up. We've got a military guy, a submarine, he took a picture on a nuke sub. He's looking at time. So, you know, when you violate national security and it goes all the way up to a top office like that, for some reason, and especially with her, there is a pass. They've been getting passes for a long time. I suspect, JD, that sooner or later, they're going to be out of passes.
Exactly.
It's going to come.
Constitutionally, I'm not sure if a president can pardon themselves. That's an interesting constitutional question. I've read different things about that.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't come to that. No pardon, but a welcome right now as we welcome in Deborah, who's on the line from Elizabeth, New Jersey. Deborah's a Hillary supporter. And your take on Hillary and what you want to see transpire. Deborah?
Well, as far as my take on Hillary, I was a Bernie Sanders supporter. I did move over to Hillary. I'm not happy with the emails. If these emails are so horrible and are doing so much trouble, let's get that taken care of so we can get back to real politics. Because it sounds like even our reporters are jumping into nothing but gossip, instead of what's really going on. And I want to hear about what each one of those candidates are going to do instead of stop with all the mudslinging. Okay, Trump, I don't like him. To me, he's just horrible. You know, Hillary, I'm a little disappointed with her. I really am. But I think she can make it if she's got it in the right way with Bernie and everyone else that's going to be there with her. But
so Bernie's endorsement of Hillary sealed the deal for you with Mrs. Clinton as far as you're concerned, Deborah?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
It really did. I mean, I used to be a Hillary fan, but when Bernie came on, I was for Bernie.
Well,
I'm absolutely straight with that.
I have a question for
disappointed
Deborah.
With Hillary with the email.
Deborah, I have a question for you. When Bernie made the accusation that it was rigged, we now know with Debbie Wasserman Schultz what issues took place there. Can you still, in good conscience, knowing what you know that's coming out from the inside, still not have that support for Bernie and transfer that support? You know what I'm saying? Do you still?
Right. I understand. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. But when I look at the two, I prefer Hillary.
All right, very good.
I can't get behind Trump and his horrible mouth, his horrible way he disagreed. Even if you look at the last debate at the end, when his daughter came, she turned her face and wouldn't even allow him to kiss her, and she patted him on the shoulder. Yeah, I said nothing about that. But all the other mudslinging and gossip you want to throw out there.
Okay, and how important is it for you, Deborah, to have the first woman president in American history?
I'm very proud to have the first woman president in America. I wish it wasn't so much like everybody making this like the worst presidential that has ever been, you know, but I think they're trying to slam her down as hard as they can with things that have already been being done by other people in politics. This isn't nothing new.
Deborah,
We're just trying to bring it in the sunshine as bright as we can.
Well, it's ironic because sunshine, and Deborah, thanks for the call, but I believe it was Mr. Justice Brandeis, Clarence, who said sunlight is the best disinfectant. Now the sun is being shown to sparkle upon some of these unattractive things. In Deborah's mind, it's mudslinging, and she's very, very pleased to see the first woman president. I don't want to be so crass as to say the gender card, but we got about 30 seconds left here. Very quickly, your take on what Deborah had to say and where we're headed.
I'd ask Deborah, does she believe in parental choice for poor people? She's living in New Jersey. Does she agree in partial birth abortions? Talk about issues, not personalities. That's the key.
What about it, Tom? Final word to you, sir.
Well, I just think that she looked at Bernie, and they were totally two different philosophies. So I think if she's picking on gender, that's the wrong reason to pick.
But we appreciate Deborah's call, and we like having your calls. And gents, we appreciate you being here at the anchor desk today. Hope you'll make it a regular habit. Now, stay with us. Jeff Crower and Brittany Pounders will join us in the political panel. We will have more of your calls because, after all, this is America Talks Live. Coming right back.